afternoon, and for those who are keeping score, podcast number 3, and I'm delighted to have as one of our guests, the CEO of Defensify, Russ Willman. Russ, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, I'm thrilled to be here, Jeff. Thanks
Awesome.
for inviting me.
Excellent. We did a really extensive benchmarking report. In my 26 years, the single most respondents was over 300. It's been downloaded over 500 times. And the challenge with surveys, right, is that sometimes people will respond to things that might not be completely accurate. We'll just say that.
Sure.
So one of the things I want to tackle with you today is probably one of the most difficult and challenging revenue opportunities or profit opportunities within the guarding industry, which is turnover. And from a benchmarking report, we still see that over 50% of the customers talk about if there's anything they can do to impact turnover as a significant event. But before we get there and you give me some examples of that, I'd love for you to just tell me a little bit about how you're looking at the industry. What does Defensify do and what do they want to accomplish, and how you feel about the security officer, security professional today?
You know, I've been in the industry since 2006, and I started with one of the globals and worked managing security officers for nearly 10 years. And the same problems that we have today existed back then. I guess there's an ebb and flow with turnover, but that's always been a major concern for all of us, unbuilt over time and so on and so forth. But for Defensify, our mission is to elevate the profession. This is no longer just an entry-level job. We see it as a career. I've seen it as a career for a while now, especially working with a lot of the in-house security corporate side. Those guys treat it like a career, and it's very different on the contract security side. And it's hard to change that perception, but now's the time.
Excellent. Well, we're gonna finish with that because I know you do a lot of end user in-house security as well. So we'll talk about that. I think it's terrific. And I love your philosophy. I know Eddie Sorrell is our president of As-Is, feels the same way. I know you do business with them as well. So I think we're on the same path in terms of how we want to change the industry, which is exciting. So you had some very specific examples of things that people use your system for that help them reduce the amount of turnover, which again, pre-COVID was in the 40 to 60 category. COVID, it got as high as 200%. And I think this past year will settle somewhere in, again, the 55 to 60%.
You know, talking with my customers, the majority of them are telling me that they lose their new hire candidates, their new security officers within the first critical 60 to 90 days. That's huge, right? They spend thousands of dollars trying to attract top talent, and they can't keep them. They buy uniforms for them. They put them through training. Usually it's pretty basic. Get them out to the field as quickly as possible to close their openings, and they lose them. And I think that the tool that we're using, that we're seeing a lot of benefits and advancements, is with a tiered academy approach, right? You want to drip feed your new hires, give them the skills that they need to be successful in the job, to feel confident in the role that they're playing, and instill pride in them, right? They are a critical piece to the total security of any organization that they're posted at, right? And so naturally, if you're providing them with really good quality training, it builds loyalty and trust with them. They no longer see it as a job. They're going to see it as a career. Security officer level 1, level 2, GSOC operator, operations manager, supervisor, director. I mean, how many stories out there are there in the contract security world where you had a security guard, Eddie Sorrells, who made it up the ranks at DSI, right? Like crazy, these stories exist. It's a career path, and we need to be telling those stories and really embracing that on the contract security side.
Yeah, that's excellent. Excellent. I go back to a book I read many years ago by Jan Carlson. I think we chatted about it, right? He goes to visit the quarrymen in Indiana and asks the 3 guys the same question, right? What do you do for a living? The guy says, I bust rock. Second guy goes, I put in a hard day's work for hard day's pay. And the third guy says, I'm building a cathedral, part of a team building a cathedral.
Yeah.
It's the story, really. And it's being embraced now for the things you're talking about, in addition to the fact that we're elevating their skill sets to meet the needs and demands of the managed service environment, right? Which is this new technology. So whether it's body cameras, whether it's case management, whether it's incident reporting at an elevated level, whether it's lone worker, we're imparting more information, more actionable intelligence on the security officers, and we have to take them along the journey. And training is obviously a cornerstone of that.
Yeah.
Russ, we have a pretty good footprint and a fast-growing footprint in the Fortune 1000 space. You had mentioned recently in a conversation we had some work you're doing in cultural centers and hospitals with end users. Can you tell me a little bit about that, how it differs from private security, what we can learn from that?
Yeah, so we're seeing a trend, well, I guess more so since we're breaking into that market ourselves on the Defensify side, where we're talking with libraries, museums, art galleries, even zoos, right? Higher education spaces. These are guys on the proprietary side that are wanting specialized certificate programs for their talent, right? They're security professionals that work directly for them. They want to upskill them. They want to give them the tools to succeed. And so now we're starting to partner with the cultural associations. They want to build out specific certificate programs for their groups. The same thing goes for higher education. Yale University is one of our customers. We've got a couple of colleges in the Midwest. And we're even seeing it in places like casinos. So we're starting to see some vertical healthcare centers, very different because it goes beyond the basic roles and responsibilities of being a security officer, but also you're interacting with members of the public. In a museum setting, you're almost like concierge, right? You're not like an authority figure. You're wearing a uniform, but you're directing people to where they want to go within the museum. So very specialized. They're using special equipment, technology, and they need training to equip their security officers to do the job.
Excellent, excellent. Shameless plug for both of us, but obviously our products are integrated, which makes a lot of sense, right? As we're deploying these security officers, it's always great to know, are there fire safety, are there guard cards, are there other respected qualifications being met and being monitored, and they're associating that with putting them and deploying them at the right place in compliance with the agreement and their contract. So that's really, really good news as well. This is kind of a topic that's really challenging in given today's current events, but are these Minnesota events, Chicago events, inner city events where you clearly see video now around de-escalation, about crowd management, does any of that kind of trickle through from a demand perspective that you can see people wanting more out of your system in those areas and that content? Yeah,
so this is the most exciting part of me being a creator in 2026 is so we're having lots of clients that are saying, look, Ross, we're having these public disturbances, protesters, and it's getting violent and it's spilling over into private spaces and our security officers are having to deal with it. So obviously they're asking for de-escalation, but I want to go beyond that. And maybe one of our listeners today can help me here because I'm looking for a subject matter expert who knows about emotional regulation. I mean, most training teaches what to do, but rarely it teaches how security officers and people on the other side experience being confronted by authority. So if I can create a series of certificate programs on emotional regulation, nervous system literacy,
impulse control, things of that nature, right?
Empathy, how to be a better human, like understanding other humans that may be in crisis.
Right.
That is a huge need, and we're going to attack that this year. I mean, we just launched our advanced competencies certificate program called Human Response Training, which is my favorite, and I'm excited about this new series, but we're going to go and build on that. If we can find a psychotherapist or a subject matter expert in emotional regulation skills. And that's how we upskill, and that's how we elevate our profession. This is absolutely needed, and it's a huge differentiator for those who embrace it.
Wow, really exciting, Russ. Russ, that is really terrific. I'm so happy you were able to spend some time with us today, and I look forward to seeing you again, hopefully at ISC upcoming. And thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your information. I'm hoping one of our guests will follow up with you regarding your request for subject matter expert. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks.